everyone, my name is Pat and welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you guys my July TBR. I was about to say June, it's July. So today I will be sharing you guys 10 books, is it right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 books that I would like to read this month. Now, I'm getting a little bit kind of ahead of myself this month. I mean, the past few months I have been too, but it's summer, so there's not a lot of things that's going on with work and all that, so I feel like I will be having a lot of time to actually read. So I'm having a lot lined up for this month. I actually have finished one of these books, and that is the first one that I will share with you guys. The first one is The Bride Test by Helen Huang. So again, I have read this book and I really enjoyed this. And I liked it just like the first book. Almost as much as I like the first book actually. So I really like this book. And again, if you guys didn't know, Helen Huang is an author that has autism spectrum disorder. She's on the spectrum, and she has written these two books that have main characters that are also on the autism spectrum disorder. And it's just really interesting and amazing to see and read an author who writes these amazing books about romance and how it is in terms of relationship and everything else. If you have autism spectrum disorder, it just gives you a different perspective and introduces you to that, disorder, and as well as not just that disorder, but also the nuances between people, and sometimes what can be thought of as normal, but also introduces you to the nuances every people can have. You don't have to have a certain disorder to be different and maybe difficult. And so it's really interesting to see and read that. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading more of her books. This has turned into a review. I'm sorry. But the next book that I'm planning to read this month that I'm currently reading right now is Recursion by Blake Crouch. Yeah, I'm currently reading this right now. The reason why I'm reading this right now is, well, of course, I'm definitely looking forward to reading more of Blake Crouch. I read Dark Matter earlier this year. I really enjoyed it. And I love sci-fi, but the thing about a lot of sci-fi that I read is that they're a little too science-y to me. It's hard for me to enjoy when I'm having a hard time understanding stuff. So that's just me, of course. Some people thrive in sci-fi. For me, I'm more of a fantasy book kind of person, but I do really enjoy good sci-fi when I am able to really get into it and understand it. So I really enjoy Dark Matter. So I've been looking forward to reading this book, Recursion by Blake Crouch, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I actually want to read this now because I'm only 50 pages in. I want to keep reading it. I'm so excited. And again, the reason why I'm reading this is because I want to get into Walkaway by Cory Doctorow. I actually started reading this, but I had been reading a lot of really contemporary romance novels, and so it's kind of like a little off. So I feel like I wasn't in the right headspace to currently read Walkaway because it's very dense. As you can see, there's a lot of really small text, and it's science fiction, and I felt like I need something a little bit more easier to get into so that I can be in that science fiction headspace so I can enjoy and read this book. So that's why I'm reading this first, and then I'll be reading this from after. So that's my plan. And then the next books are actually the type of summer books that I read, which is contemporary romance novels. The first one is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McKiston. This has been going on YouTube for the past few months. This was recently released earlier this year, I think May, is that right? Yeah, but earlier this May 2019. So this is about the son of the President of the United States and the second in line in throne, I believe. Alex is the son of the president, female president, and Henry is the Prince of England. And they went into a party and they got in this really weird altercation, and so they're reported to be having really negative relationship with each other. So they were forced to befriend each other and pretend that they were very close and they're actually not fighting. And then it turns to something more. Friendship turns into something more. And I'm really so looking forward to this because a lot of people love this. And we're following these two characters that I feel like are going to be hilarious and fun, as well as interesting, because we're going to be learning about them one as the president's son, the other as the Prince of England. So I'm really excited about that. I love royalty contemporary romance, kind of like, Princess Diaries. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this book. And of course, because I love contemporary royal romance, I also picked up Royals and Her Royal Highness by Rachel Hawkins. Now this is actually, I don't really right on the top of my head, I don't really remember what this is about, but I do know that it has royalty and a prince. So it says, meet Daisy Winter. She's an offbeat 16-year-old Floridian with mermaid red hair. Oh, we're following Daisy, whose older sister is engaged to the Crown Prince of Scotland. So she goes over to Scotland to prepare for the wedding, I think, and then he meets the prince's roguish younger brother, Prince Sebastian, who kicks up scandal wherever he goes and tries his best to take Daisy along for the ride. So, I mean, it's royalty, an American getting involved in royalty, and actually Scotland. I want to go to Scotland in the future. So reading about Scotland and Scottish prince, crown prince, and Scottish royalty is very exciting, interesting to me. So definitely excited to do. The next one is again Her Royal Highness by Rachel Hawkins. Now this one we're following, I think she's the princess. Is that right? Yeah, the Princess of Scotland is lesbian or bisexual. No, I think Millie, the one that we're following, is an American who is, I think she's the one that's bisexual, and Flora, the Princess of Scotland, is lesbian, I think. Again, it's a romance between the two of them, I think. That's what I remember, or what I sort of remember. So again, very excited to read this. And the next one is actually pretty weird. I think I forgot to kind of pause this and move this to a different date. And it is Crimson Brown by Rosamund Hodge. This is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and that's what I've remembered from years before when I first saw this. This actually doesn't have really good ratings on Goodreads. I have a few people who like it, but for the most part, it's kind of It's a 3.6 in Goodreads, and again, this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. That's what I remember. I don't really know, but I love retellings. Wait, is it Red Riding Hood? Oh, it's a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. So I'm very excited to get into this. I have been wanting to read this for a while, but when I saw this was released in 2015, I think around that time, I was very excited to read this, but then I saw the reviews and I was like, maybe not. So it has been something that I have on my want to read list, but I haven't gotten to it, and then I have it on hold in the library, and then it arrived, so I'm gonna be reading this too. And again, in conjunction with all these royal romances, I think I'm gonna enjoy this a lot. The next book that I'm reading is Unmarriageable by Sonia Kamal. This is a Pride and Prejudice in Pakistan kind of retelling, and I'm very excited to get into this too. A lot of people love this. I mean, there's more of a mixed review, but I think a lot more people that I've heard from really like this book. And I recently read Pride and Prejudice actually only earlier this year, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, because I'm just not into, I've tried reading classic books before, but I never really enjoy them, and I never get to finish a lot of them. So definitely very excited to read this. The cover is so pretty too. So yeah, Pride and Prejudice retelling in Pakistan, modern Pakistan. So again, very excited. Now, the next book that I'm planning to read this year is actually something that I have been wanting to read for a while. I couldn't get into it knowing that I'm kind of hassling for time. So because I will be having a lot more time to read, I have decided to pick this up this month. And that is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I don't actually really know a lot about this book. I only know that it has dragons and it's massive and it's Samantha Shannon. I really enjoyed Samantha Shannon's first book, The Bone Season. I don't think that's her first book. Well, the first in that series, The Bone Season, but I read that years ago. I haven't gotten to read the rest of the series, and then when I found out, I actually bought the 3 books because I thought it was only a trilogy. Then I found out it was a 6-book series, and there's only 3 books out so far. So I binge read series rather than wait for them to wait every year for each book to arrive. But that being said, because of that, I am very excited to get into this book because this is a standalone and this is huge. And the thing about huge books is that they can be very intimidating, but for the most part, especially if they're high fantasy like this, they're really good. So I'm definitely very excited to go and read this massive book, and my arm is getting tired. There it is. So those are all of the books that I'm planning to read this month. I'm very positive that I will be definitely getting into all of these books, not most of them, especially since I know these three are going to be really fast reads, and I think Crimson Band is also going to be a really fast read for me as well. And because I already finished one, and I think this is going to be really quick for me as well. It's just going to be a really fun July, I think. So fun reading month this month. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. You can check out my other videos right here and tell me what you guys think about the books that I have lined up for this month. If you guys have read it, if you're also planning on reading it, what you guys think, what you're looking forward to, and I will see you on my next one. Bye!